Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and in today's episode, we're going to cover some Japanese art books. Now, again, back in the day, when information was really hard to get on, animes and that kind of stuff, especially things like images and more additional information about the anime that's not available that you could have just got off of the TV program and that kind of stuff. Even artwork and that kind of stuff is really hard to get. So the key thing that we needed to get was art books or reference books or whatever that came out from Japan to basically serve this need that we had. So basically, if you watched a really popular show like Gundam or something, for example, if you wanted to get more information about it, you want to get some artwork, maybe how to draw and that kind of stuff, you went to get a book about Gundam. And then you can get all the mecha design, more extended pictures, explanation about how some of the mechanics and that kind of stuff, and how the story even comes together. And that's kind of the research you need to make sure that the information that you're getting is is complete or is according to that source. We're going to go through some of these books and give you an idea what's inside them and give you kind of a feel of what these books are all about. Because again, in the modern era, we don't really use these kind of books and this kind of stuff to get our information about animes. So that's something that's a little different, okay? So before I begin, I'd like to remind you when you go down below, click like and click subscribe. Leave a comment about some of your favorite books and that kind of stuff that you have in your collection. All this stuff helps the YouTube algorithm recommend this video. As well as I do also have the Patreon and PayPal available if you want to support me financially. As well as I've now got the instructions and different lists available for all, if you're interested in trying to do an old-fashioned media trade. All that information is now available on the Patreon, so you can go there and you can look at the information as well. You can sign up if you like. You don't even have to go to any of the tiers if you don't want to. You can just sign up as a free membership, and again, get all that information and the links and the lists if you want to give that a try, just for nostalgia kind of situation. If you've been and have participated in the past with an anime giveaway, and you like to get more of that kind of stuff, maybe music videos or some fan subbed anime or whatever, you want to see what it's kind of like, all that stuff is available on the list. You can go through them and see what tickles your fancy, as it were. So, again, this episode is about art and art books and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go through some physical art books, from the past, and just give you an idea of what these kind of art books entail and what they include. And maybe if this happens to be one of your favorite animes and you want to see if you search this out, maybe you can then go through and pick out these art books wherever you can. As I said, some of the market on them is kind of hard to get and kind of pricey on some of them, but definitely some of these art books are really, really, really nice. And I argue that some of the pictures and the artwork that are in them are still probably really, really valuable now. The fact that because it's just even though there's so much stuff out there, trying to get the right pictures and sometimes get the right resolution is really difficult, even now in today's technology and today's society on the internet. Definitely these books I definitely have a true good purpose for that, especially again if you really are really interested in a particular anime and things puzzle you or whatever, and you want to get a little bit more. Definitely these art books can offer things like interviews and background information and whatnot that just really kind of might answer some of those questions and some of those lines of thought and that kind of stuff that went into a lot of these animes when you get the interviews with from the actual creators and that kind of stuff. It's a whole different angle that sometimes people miss out a lot on. Okay, so without further delay, let's go into some art books. The first book is going to be this one right here. This one is The Art of Kiyomiya, and the name of this particular volume is Volume 1, and it's called Gaia, right? And it covers Mobius Client, Silent Mobius, Vagrants, Dark Angel, Compiler, Assembler X, and Steam Deck. It's basically a lot of his newer stuff, okay? And, again, like most books, they have a good introduction, a good sort of, big introduction of a lot of his things, right? You can see that, always the little implication is that, Kiyomiya is the main sort of artist, and then, of course, Michitaka Kikuchi is his sort of, side, alternate ego type of thing. but you know, again, that's you'll see the difference in a lot of the earlier works. So you know, you get a lot of the artwork from like things like Steam Detectives here, from the covers of the different like the CDs, the DVDs, and whatnot. Okay, awesome. And then of course a lot of stuff from Assembler. Come out of white. This is the cover for Plasma. The cover for Interpreter. These are all CDs and that kind of stuff. This is the CD, if I remember right, we went and got KSME to actually do the drawing for Assembler. And of course, Compiler, the first of the major 3 CDs that they made for that. Again, covers for the various different laser discs and that kind of stuff. The compact disc covers. Okay. Then of course, this is stuff for Dark Angel. This is about the era where they did all the different work for, you know, when he did the X-Men comics and that kind of stuff and whatnot. Okay, it's a lot of the early artwork from various different things. This is the I think it's just the alternate spine kind of thing. So where all the information and that kind of stuff is from. Okay, the service card that you get when you can mail it in for kind of survey and that kind of stuff. Sometimes they give you gifts and that kind of stuff for that. So yeah, a lot of early, references to like his sort of earlier style that he does. Things for like Borgman and that kind of stuff is where that sort of reference comes from. Okay, now we get into Solid Mobius. And you can see this is where experiments with some of that, the photoshopping where you do the overlay of images and that kind of stuff. So, okay, kind of the same soft watercolor that you get again from Borgman type of concept, because that almost looks like Chuck. Yeah. So, and some of the early artwork for Solid Mobius for the CD covers and whatnot. And then, of course, this is all the newer stuff he does for like Mobius Climb. So a very, very nice art book for anyone who's really interested in his newer artworks there. So this is the Gaia from Kiyomiya, Art of Kiyomiya. The next book is this one here. It's called Fantasia. Okay, it is the art book for Noboru Yuki, i.e. the Record of Lotus Wars guy, a Dragon magazine special. Okay, and again, this is a sort of a compilation of a lot of his artworks and that kind of stuff. It's just in general. So again, you can see lots of pictures of, let's say, Deed List right there. The Record of Lost Wars is one of his biggest works there. So again, lots of the cover artworks for the laser discs, DVD covers, CD covers. This also covers the second series of Lost Wars. Okay, this is always nice because it shows you how his pictures got started before he finishes putting all the inks and that kind of stuff in. Okay, so. So again, you can see, the styles of the pictures as you choose them out there. Puritas, right? Very famous, iconic pictures. So again, there are different ways how he modeled the pictures and that kind of stuff for that. And it's just this nice sort of, the start of the things of that before he finally finishes put in all the color and that kind of stuff in these images. So it's a nice kind of way to show how he did a lot of these kind of stuff. Again, same way here. Right? How he decided to put in all the lines and then before he puts it all in. Some nice alternate type of images for that. But a good covering of all the rest of the things he does for Lotus Wars and that kind of stuff. Even some nice sort of Photoshop kind of put together. So again, how he constructed the images. Yeah. This is probably the most iconic picture, which he used for Volume 1. Very popular at that time. Okay, so he also does a whole bunch of work for 5-Star Stories. Okay, even though he's not like the actual for that, but he did a lot of work for that kind of stuff. So this is some of the pictures and drawings, especially for things like the covers of New Type magazine, the covers for Laserdisc. Okay. He also does some artwork for The Weathering Continent. So these are some of the images and that kind of stuff he did. Same thing. That's probably the most common picture that they'll ever see for that one. A lot of things also posters from like Dragon magazine. So whenever they did like the insert posters and that kind of stuff, they'll put this kind of artwork in their, it's sort of like the promotional poster that's in the middle of the magazine. Sometimes they'll throw that in there. And of course, since this is the magazine that actually produces that thing, this is what it comes usually into. That was one of them right there. One of the poster artwork for that. Next one is Valor Saga. So it's another RPG sort of anime sort of manga style. Okay. So again, if you really like his artwork, this is a really nice book that contains a lot of his mixed stuff. Again, mostly like a lot of stories, but also a little bit of 5-star stories in there. Fantasia by Noboru Yuki. Okay, the next one here is one called Touch, which is the art book for Blue Seed, and it's actually the Momiji Fujiyama photographs for essentially Blue Seed. Okay, and this is a nice little book made by Roman Album, and it's basically a sort of nice thing for, well, it's sort of a nice complete set for the little MasterCard for that, or the slide swipe for that. And basically, yeah, it covers all the different sort of pictures and that kind of stuff for, promotional use for Blue Seed. So that's kind of, has a lot of, again, covers for artworks, for the CDs, and different things like the manga, a couple cells and that kind of stuff in there, a couple emotional pictures, some soft touch pictures and that kind of stuff in there. Okay. Some nice sort of light color, almost like Mikimoto almost, that light soft style to that. Okay. Anyway, so they have something called the M files. You can always see that it has the same font as the X files, right? And this basically goes and talks more, creator kind of stuff, the line drawings and that kind of stuff for that. So different illustration collection, Kazuchika Kise illustration collection. So a lot of the, the kind of design work and that kind of stuff for the characters, the mecha. Okay, so nice sort of book for that kind of the backgrounds and that kind of stuff, for the scenarios and that kind of stuff. Always a lot of detail and that kind of stuff. Okay, an episode guide, of course. So contains what happens and kind of summaries of all the various different episodes. Again, these things are really important because when we were watching these things and getting the episodes from them, they may not be in order, and so following these episode titles and that kind of stuff, and as well as seeing the images of what is in the episode, that gives us an indication of what episode number it is, especially if the opening part was cut off and we didn't see the episode title. Then we have to go by the images that we see in the thing, and of course, the story description, to help us sort of figure out what exactly what we're watching and where does the episode that we got on tape actually fits. So that's why these guys are really, really important when we were watching these things, because we didn't know what the episodes were sometimes, and we had to slot them in the right spot. And again, these books are kind of our guide, our TV guide, if you will, on how to actually figure out what we're watching, right? Whether or not we're watching in order. Okay, again, big huge article on Megumi Hashimura. She's the main VA for the main character, and kind of neat sort of things that they do for that. So it's really kind of cool. Good, nice, complete book for Blue Seed. So it's the magazine for Touch. The next book is this one here. It's probably one of the best art books for card capper Sakura. Okay, the book is called Cheerio. All right, and it is a collection of illustrations and things that they use for card capper Sakura. Now, of course, the manga itself is done by Clamp, right? But this is not necessarily a Clamp sort of book. Okay, this is sort of this sort of posters and different images and that kind of stuff used for all the different sort of things that they use for the TV series, right? So again, covers for the CDs, laserdiscs. A couple of them are inset posters that were used for the like a magazine, like Animedia, New Type. That's things like variations for the covers, things like that, right? Um, Sometimes they're like I think I have a Lamy board with that picture on it, for example. Some of them are like card index things for like used for like the tarot card set and things like that. Some of them are promotional pictures, like that's the poster out of one of the magazines. And so yeah, if you're looking for a nice sort of art book that has lots of like the illustration type of stuff, like the TV illustration kind of stuff, as opposed to the clamped manga art style, this is a really good book for this kind of stuff. And as I said, in the early days, when we had to look for high resolution pictures, we couldn't use the internet in order to get them because it said the size of the file, and of course, the posting of these kind of images are really, really tough. No one really, that took time to scan or do anything of these things in, so a lot of these images weren't available. So the only way that you could really get good resolution pictures for doing, everything from like flyers or, things. This is where all the pictures come from, so you can see, the date, where it was used, what kind of promotional thing it was used for. It comes in really handy if you, for example, see a picture and you wanted it as a poster or something. You can order it, or find out where it comes from, right? Staff interview here. So again, Kumiko Takahashi, which is one of the character designers for the TV series. You can see all the different sort of information for that. It's all in here, and but the things that if you're really interested in that, you go through it, translate and do it. Okay, so here's a kind of a making of, so the process as they did for some of the pictures here, and you can see the actual steps that they did for that. And of course, this is the spine preview for it. So yeah, again, if you're looking for a lot of really nice and colorful pictures for Cardcaptor Sakura, this is probably one of the best books that does that particular thing for you. So again, Cheerio for Cardcaptor Sakura. Okay, so the next one here is for Bubblegum Crisis. Okay, now there's actually two of them. Okay, this is for the completed file series. Okay, there's actually two of them for Bubblegum Crisis 1 and Bubblegum Crisis 2. Okay, these are probably again one of the most complete and one of the best books for Bubblegum Crisis. Okay, so again, nice poster artwork here. It has Bubblegum Crisis book there, but it's nice because it does everything from nice character design, pictures and that kind of stuff for how the backscape, the mechas, the machines, the boomas. Okay. Detailed for the the lightsabers and functionality of the suit. Like for example, how you would actually how the suit actually fits in and the person how they would get into one. It shows the process all right here. It's just really good detailed information. And this is one of the best sort of things for that. It's also history of the boomers, armaments and that kind of stuff about that. Character designs and background. Cynthia and Frederick, so some more of the characters about that. Basically the first couple episodes of Bubblegum Crisis is all in here in this kind of thing, right? There's all the date information, so this is the actual working design kind of stuff for that. So it's really packed full of information and full of it. So sure, it doesn't have as many colored drawings or all that stuff from Kenichi Sonoda's sort of that kind of picturesque thing, but really highly detailed in terms of the amount of information that's needed, right? Because again, when we were doing the things for this, this was just absolutely really fascinating kind of material, right? So some nice poster there for book 2, and then so not as many of these kind of flashy sort of pictures and that kind of stuff in this particular book, but in terms of the actual so this is where we're starting with Born to Kill, very very detailed kind of information about them. So the blow up. See, it's just massive amount of detail in the structure of the lightsabers, the the hard suits themselves. Okay. Um, Again, this is the characters and each of the hard suits, laid out in different ways that they did. They did the characters, the concepts for the characters. So like I said, this is like the most valuable book for this kind of this detail. It's just absolutely phenomenal how much information you can pour out of these types of things. Again, more of the story background for the Mega Tokyo. Okay. So yeah, so in terms of key information, these two books are probably like the best for Bone Crisis. Okay, I hope you found that really interesting. And again, I've got boxes upon boxes of these kind of art books in storage, and I'm going to basically go through some of the more different ones and that kind of stuff, just to give you an idea that of what kind of stuff came out and different animes that were covered with these books. Just because no one really talks about these things again, because a lot of people don't even have them, and or don't have access to them because these are some of these things are well over 20, 30 years old now, and to find them even is a really difficult task. Okay, because it's just none of that stuff around anymore, right? But so again, we'll have more episodes. Do check back, and we will put more up for you so that you can see what some of your favorite animes from the past have put out. Right? So until next time, I will see you again.